Hi, I'm Matt Hogan with InsideEVs.
And I am Gianmaria Fulgenzi, Chief Product Development Officer of Ferrari.
And we're here with the Ferrari Elettrica, the first all-electric Ferrari, and this is the chassis behind us. So I want to start by talking a little bit about emotion. Obviously, that's what Ferrari trades in. And something other car companies have struggled with is, how do you get people excited about an electric supercar? And we've seen Lamborghini and other companies maybe walk back their commitment to electrification. So how do you make an electric vehicle truly exciting, give them, the emotional feel that you expect from a car in this segment?
Right, that's a good question. You know that Ferrari always been performance, driving thrills, and design. Of course, these three pillars are what we said they are fundamentally to create emotion. And of course, driving thrills means that you have to enjoy when you drive the car. And so to enjoy the car like this, the car must be agile, not too much weight. You have to brake properly to accelerate. We need, let me say, sound, gearbox generally. So it doesn't mean an easy job to create a car with an electric powertrain that is, let me say, in the same way of the other Ferrari car.
Right.
Very, very emotional. But I strongly believe that we succeed. We did it.
Yeah.
We did it. Why?
Why don't we talk about sound for a second? Because that's something interesting you've done here. Now, some companies have simulated sort of internal combustion sounds. That's not the way you guys are doing. How does the sound work in this car?
Let me say, generally, we don't mimic any kind of sound. We don't want fake sound, as in the past we did with internal combustion engine, the V6, the V8, the V12, the aspirating engine, the turbo engine, the hybrid. All these powertrain has their unique sound. So we strongly wanted to keep them alive, to keep them property in terms of characteristic of the product of the car. So also for the electric car, we strongly wanted to give to the car its own sound, the electric sound. So we let me say, used some sensor that pick it up the electromechanical frequency, the own electromechanical frequency of the electric engine, and we bring this sound inside the cabin. We amplify, like let me say, in an electric guitar, you amplify the waves of the guitar. You don't do in an acoustic one because you have the resonance box, but in the electric guitar you can do. So we amplify this sound, and we create a unique sound in the car. But also, when you don't drive the car, let me say in manual mode, when you don't engage the car, when you want to drive relaxed, to be comfort, to talk with the passenger, make a phone call, the car is completely silent. So you can enjoy a new experience of driving a Ferrari in silent mode also. We say the sound of silent or something like that, but also this is the sound.
Yeah. One thing you touched on there was, shifting through the manual mode. Tell me a little bit about that, because obviously you say that you don't want a synthetic experience, but naturally I don't think there's actually a 7-speed gearbox in here. So how do you work that?
When start to, let me say, to think, to develop the car and to use the car, when we approach in the corner, we start to play with the pedals, and if you don't have the pedal, you start to play with the air, because you need something to touch when you want to engage the car, not to let me say, to drive comfortably in automatic mode, make a phone call. You don't need anything, right? You have to need a car that is comfortably secure and so on. But when you want to enjoy a little bit, you need something to connect with the car, to communicate with the car. To be completely engaged with the car. So you need the pedals. But the pedal for us, the very important thing is a device that changes torque and power level. So we are designing 5 different levels that can be released in succession. So you can, let me say, during the upshift, you can release the power, the total power of the car in different way, like gears. And when you approach the turn, the corner, you downshift with the left paddle, and so you have that kind of emotion of engine braking system that can create a natural experience that is completely connected with the body acceleration and also the sound that you can hear. So you close the loop with the sound and the paddles and acceleration or deceleration. So you have a perfect melt. You are perfectly melted with the car, like in other Ferrari.
So how does that work in terms of if you're accelerating in first gear or the first level, is there a certain speed at which you can't go any faster without shifting up? And then when you shift up, the total amount of like power and torque increases. So
it
won't be quite like a gas transmission in that you will get more power as you go further on as well. Is that my understanding?
You release the total power step by step.
Gotcha.
Till 200, more around 200 kilometers per hour. 200 kilometers per hour, you have full power, to reach 310. And so the distance in the way that you can release, or you need to release, let me say, because the acceleration starts to decrease, are perfectly calibrated with the way of working, the way of driving the car.
Gotcha. Now, this is InsideEVs, so obviously we got to go a little nerdy on the battery stuff. I believe in the press materials it says that Ferrari claims this is the most dense battery pack in any EV worldwide. Is that true? So how do you accomplish that?
Yes, 123 kilowatt hour for kilo.
Okay.
That means 195 watt hour per kilo, more or less 200, very close to 200. That is the highest with the lower weight. So we have produced a battery pack that can be replaced with modules. We have 15 modules, and every modules have 14 cells that we buy outside, the chemistry we buy outside, and we integrated the battery perfectly with the chassis. So also the battery became a component with the chassis that work in the crashes and in the safety mission for the chassis.
Now that pack, so the cells are bonded into a pack, which is then bonded into the chassis, or the cell goes directly to the chassis?
No. It's the battery to chassis and not the cell to chassis, because we wanted to have the replacement of a single module in terms of repairability and to guarantee the life of the Ferrari forever.
So naturally, this is a Ferrari EV, which means that people are going to expect to be able to drive it very hard for a long time without overheating anything. Tell me a little bit about the cooling system and how that...
Cooling system is very important in an electric vehicle, because to prepare the battery to be recharged or to cool down, we work massively. We have 3 different cooling circuits: the low temperature, medium temperature, high temperature, because we have also the 48 volt components like the active suspension systems. We have the 800 volt batteries, we have the 48, so we have a lot of components to be cool down. And so we design a cooling system that use different level of temperature for different components to be always at maximum of rechargeability and the power released.
So will this be something that you can comfortably take on a racetrack for multiple laps in a row, or is that not the target for this?
It's not the target. It's a car to be used in a normal road, let me say, enjoying alone, but also with other friends, family, to enjoy the Ferrari driving emotion, driving experience, not alone, but with others. But let me say that I test the car several times, also in the ice, in the snow, in Sweden, and also in track. And when you want to play with the pedals, to push on the gas pedal, it is a true Ferrari, real Ferrari. Also to attack the corners, attack the. It's very, very, very enjoyable.
Yeah. Now, one of the interesting things about, electric cars in general is you have the ability to do a quad motor design like this, right? And so with the quad motor design and individual control of each active suspension component, you basically have full control over all 4 wheels independently, which is not something you've ever seen in the internal combustion world. So what, what does that enable for you guys? I imagine there's a lot of torque vectoring going on, but, does that enable some very interesting handling dynamics? How configurable is it?
That's the point.
Yeah.
You exactly take the point, because firstly, we have worked on the, let me say, base physics in terms of architecture, to have the most smaller components possible, the compact component, very, very close to the center of gravity, also the battery very, very low, all around the center of gravity. But then to enhance the agility, the drivability of the car, of course, the EV architecture in terms of electric motor, 4 different electric motor, 4 steer motor with the active suspension.
Steering, I forgot about that.
We have a completely four, let me say, spheres that we can adjust and joke and play as we want. It's the first time. And so we redesigned completely the electronic architecture, electric architecture. We have installed the VCU, vehicle control unit. It is a brain that control all the system in order to have one single system that work, all components work like only one. And so we have pushed the agility of the car much more than, let me say, the normal powertrain, mechanical powertrain, because mechanical powertrain has some constraints. You can't play like an electric engine that is completely disconnected from everywhere in terms of mechanics, but also in terms of software control. So we have done something that is, let me say, unbelievable from my side. Virtually we cut more than 450 kilos. And so the car, it's more or less to 2,300 kilo, but when you drive, it seems like 1,100, 1,800, 1,105.
Wow.
So it's very, very agile and very, very, very happy to drive.
One other thing I read about too is separating the rear subframe. That is new in Ferrari history. Forgive me, I don't quite understand what the benefits of that are. So can you walk me through that a little bit?
Oh, it's very simple, because we strongly wanted to have a ride in a lateral dynamic, very in Ferrari way, let me say, as we talked before, but also having a very smooth cruising when you are in a, let me say, highway, or so the separate subframe allow us to cut completely the road noise and the wheel noise. So especially in the rear, you can have a very, very smooth ride.
So another big innovation here, besides the F80, all of the other Ferraris that have ever come out with electric motors, you guys have purchased from suppliers. These electric motors are built here in Maranello by you guys.
All the components.
What does that enable you to do?
Let me say, we started in 2009 our electrification journey with prototype, then Formula One, then SF90.
I saw the green car in Modena yesterday.
The first one, the 599 was amazing.
Or not in Modena, sorry, that was here, across the street.
It was amazing. So our electrification journey is very long. We learn in Formula One, we make mistake, we adjust and so on, and then we arrived at SF90 and 296, where we, let me say, think and develop and project the components, but we buy the components outside from Marelli, from Yasa, from other suppliers that we still have. But of course, we designed the new gamma, the new range, starting from 2002, 2006, and now tomorrow we will see also for the new Capital Market Day 2006, 2000. We keep the hybrid internal combustion engine and the new Elettrica. And so we keeping alive the hybrid system. We decided in the Elettrica, we decided the core components we must thinking, produce and deliver in-house to be, let me say, free to design as we want, to produce as we want, and to keep the components alive for the future, because we said our customer that Ferrari is forever. So this is forever. We have to replace, let me say, the battery, the cells, the chemistry, to adjust some components if it's not working, and so on. So we have to be able to handle this kind of stuff. So in this building that we are in, the e-building that we launched last year, is a new building where we produce all our cars, not only the EV, and where we produce inside the battery, the modules of the battery, the electronics, the inverters, the electric motors. So we produce every components here for the new electric car, like we have done in the last 78 years for the internal combustion engine.
And to confirm, the battery is a nickel, cobalt, manganese, CM? Okay.
Yes.
And then with all that in mind, obviously we're very excited about the performance here, but can't help but notice this is not a supercar or sports car, which is what people... So
not at all.
First of all, can you say whether it is going to be more of a sedan or a crossover or a wagon? What is...
I can't say enough.
You can't say. Okay. What, in your view, will it take? I mean, first off, was the decision to make this the first electric one because it's not possible to make the level of sports car experience you want as an EV yet? And what would it take for Ferrari to get there?
When we start to decide which kind of, let me say, electrification journey we have to go further, we analyzed a lot of architecture, and we saw that with the best components and technical possibility in 2026, 2028 for the market, in terms of dimension to be, let me say, the best car with an electric powertrain, we see that an electric vehicle for a two-seater sports car wasn't, let me say, a game changer, okay, in terms of architecture, base physics. But when you start to increase the dimension of the car, for having a car that has, as we said before, equal agile, like a smaller car, but you have that kind of agility with a car that is bigger. So you can have a car bigger with the same agility of a car that is smaller. So you can enjoy four-seater instead with the same agility and enjoyment of a two-seater. The electric vehicle was the ideal. Because you can concentrate the battery all around. You can increase the dimension of the car because you don't have the gearbox, you don't have the engine that are too big constraint in terms of mass. You don't have the connection in the middle of the car, so you can enlarge the car. But you have to do this with a dimension that must be, let me say, enough big. Otherwise, the possibility to improve the performance or the driving trees are very strict, very poor, let me say.
So what sort of technological breakthroughs would you need to see for an electric vehicle to be able to replace something like a 296 or a Dolce Cilindri?
We will see.
We will see.
We will see.
Do you think? Do you have any guess on how long it would take to be able to do that? Do you need a solid state battery? Do you need anything like that?
No. We are. Let me say, our chosen are also driven by our customers. Our customers so far love for special kind of car to sit, especially the internal combustion engine, the V12, for example, in the front, the sound of the V12. So we wanted to. This car is not something that replace another car or another product, but is an addition. So we have enlarged our portfolio. We have enlarged our proposal for our customers, and we want to achieve new customers with this car, not only to sell the car to our Ferraristi, of course, but also to enlarge the possibility to have in our family new customers that, let me say, so far didn't want an internal combustion engine or something like that, but can think about a new car, a new Ferrari with a new idea, different.
In speaking to Ferrari customers, existing customers, are most people excited about electric vehicles? Are they afraid of them? Are they saying we like it in a sedan, but we maybe are not sure about sports cars? What's the temperature?
No, they are interesting.
They're interested.
They are interested in what we have done because they trust us. That we do something every time different from the others. The car that really you can enjoy to drive. And so there is a lot of interest and emotion to test the car, let me say.
So in terms of volume, how do you expect this to fit in next to the Purosangue? Do you expect it to be a bigger seller? Do you expect it to be more popular? Or is this going to be a smaller production thing to start with?
No, more or less it's like the Purosangue. The product positioning is quite similar. Not more, not less. Something different, but the volume and the product positioning is quite similar.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. And I'm Matt Hogan with InsideEVs. Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.